Hello everyone. So in this video I'm going to go over a little bit about structural and systematic causes of wrongful convictions. The statistics related to wrongful convictions and to race and wrongful convictions are profoundly disturbing and illustrative of a deeply rooted problem. Studies estimate that between 4 to 6% of people incarcerated in the United States prisons are actually innocent. To fully understand why wrongful convictions are so prevalent in our society and to find solutions to our wrongful conviction problem, we must dig deeper into these race and wrongful conviction statistics. The presumption of innocence is a fundamental rule in our criminal legal system. When paired with the requirement that the prosecution must prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, it is supposed to help ensure that someone charged with the crime is not wrongfully convicted. But what happens if, despite that unchecked biases causes jurors, judges, lawyers, and others to presume some people are less innocent than others? Is it easier then to convict them? Black Americans make 13% of the U.S. population, but make up 40% of the prison population and almost 60% of all DNA exonerations in this country. The legacy of racial injustice in America, involving centuries of white supremacy, racial violence, and the marginalization of people of color, has evolved into a widespread presumption that people of color are suspicious, dangerous, and criminal, that young black men are to be feared, monitored, and even with a baseline set at one times for white Americans. Black Americans have a 3.5 times higher rate of being accused of sexual assault, 7 times higher for murder, and 12 times higher for drug related offenses. These insidious, implicit racial biases create perceptions and presumptions that play out continuously in societal interactions with the criminal enforcement system and can manifest as the following actions directed towards black and brown people in America. 1. Formation of unwarranted suspicions in everyday situations. 2. Inaccurate assumptions of criminal activity when there are none. 3. An arrest based on weaker evidence than someone implicitly presumed innocent, harmless, or with access to power and influence. 4. Rampant criminalization with excessive sentences of actions that disproportionately impact black and brown people. And 5. Erroneously, unfairly, unjustly, and or inequitably prosecuting, convicting, imprisoning, keeping imprisoned, and controlling upon re-entry. Sweeping so many people, disproportionately black and brown people, into this system of over-criminalized and mass incarceration, often caging them in horrid conditions and branding them as criminals or felons upon release, has a number of consequences. 1. It dramatically increases the number of people in prison and thus statistically the number of wrongfully convicted people in prison. 2. It efficient resources and time to slow down and ensure accuracy and reliability in investigations, charging, convictions, and to ensure an adequate defense. 3. The sheer number of black and brown people trapped in the system can reinforce society's implicit racial biases, involving the presumption of dangerousness and criminality. And 4. It dehumanizes large segments of the population while desensitizing others to the plight of human suffering and injustice, creating artificial indifference. At a certain point, more about simply securing a conviction than ensuring conviction of the correct person or ensuring justice and community safety. When the state routinely subjects black and brown people to treatment and inequities, it normalizes that very behavior, which can lead to a conduct, corruption, favoritism, and or selective malicious prosecution. Not all innocent incarcerated Americans are people of color. Wrongful convictions can and do happen to almost any person of any race. But the system that allows wrongful convictions to be so disconcertingly common and so frustratingly difficult to correct is a system infected to the core by racism and racial bias. The problems traceable to that racism and racial bias are pervasive enough to affect everyone. Together, we need to work towards a criminal legal system where the very few wrongful convictions that do occur are quickly and easily corrected, where the common factors that enable wrongful convictions are remedied, and where the structural systems that promote and perpetuate wrongful convictions are reconfigured into something more just, equitable, accurate, reliable, and accountable. Have a good day, everybody.